I've been a staunch critic against the leadership of the state where I reside, New York. The elected officials who govern the state and the local city officials, in my opinion, have let many of us down. The people who I believe that have been let down, for the most part, are everyone who was identified as essential staff, frontline workers, the people who were mandated to work throughout this pandemic. I've been one of those essential people. Who did not have the luxury, in essence, to stay home or remain in lockdown like the majority of the people in this state had. The governor of this state, Governor Andrew Cuomo, declared that he was going to propose that the federal government gives all of the essential workers and frontline work, all of the people who had to work throughout COVID-19, a 50% bonus in pay. I'm not creating a fictitious account or story. This was something that he said that he was going to do on April 20th, 2020, if my memory serves me correctly. It's been well over a year later. Not only has the federal government not honored the governor's request, but the city of New York decided to hold an essential staff frontline worker parade today. A parade. A parade. See, people, you 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 can't make this up, right? I wish this was some type of fiction that I was, creating out of my mind to speak about. You can't make this up. So now with the confetti and the ticker tape that flows in the air is supposed to represent the praise and celebration of those who were obligated to do their jobs throughout this entire time and continue to do their jobs throughout this entire pandemic period. After the state received federal government aid or funding, I should say, and there's still no word on this 50% bonus. Now, a person could say 50%. Wow, that's a lot of money. Where are they going to get this from? Well, the federal government is printing, not the federal government, the Federal Reserve is printing money like it's nobody's business for the past 16 months. What do you mean, where are you going to get this money? People, do you think it's only people do you think essential workers haven't haven't succumbed to COVID? Do you think there are essential workers who haven't died by contracting COVID? They have. They have. So now we're made to be praised with a parade. In a place where we're told restrictions have been lifted. We're told we need to reimagine New York, the great reimagining of the new normal. Where is the respect of the frontliners, the essential staff, because if it were not for us, the entire state would have been crippled, paralyzed, shut down. In every capacity you can think of. The cities throughout the state were running because, like I've said before, we were and we are the lifeblood of this place. Could you imagine if hospital staff stopped working? Could you imagine if emergency services were just shut down? Could you imagine if transportation services were shut down? Could you imagine if social services were shut down? Could you imagine if food services were shut down? Groceries, stores, supermarkets, big box supermarkets, whatever you could think of. Trains, buses, automobiles, just, car share program, whatever. Police officers, firemen, teachers, everything. Like I said, with with hospitals. Could you imagine if all that stopped? It didn't stop. It hasn't stopped. Government workers, delivery services, mailmen. Could you imagine restaurants, everything just shut down, no takeout, nothing. Nothing. And all we get are veiled thank yous and a parade. Now, many essential staff are not unionized, meaning they're not part of a collective bargaining unit where they have an agreement, a contractual agreement between their employers and themselves with their respective titles in order to perform their duties within their roles and positions according with the agreement that's identifies everything. They need, contracts. And if you work outside the contracts, well, then you have grievance processes and all types of everything that goes. A lot of essential workers are not unionized. Many are 1099 workers, contractors, independent contractors. They were deemed essential. Cashiers in a grocery store are deemed essential. Uber drivers deemed essential. They have zero protection. There's employers that are employment at will, so they could let go of people at any time. But many of them were deemed essential. Where's the bonus pay for them? Where's the bonus pay for all of us? No, it's enjoy this ticker tape parade. Enjoy it. Forget about what was said on April 20th, 2020 by Governor Cuomo. Forget about that. It's a new day. It's a new day. Doesn't count anymore. It's nullified. Yeah, doesn't matter. You work. Thank you very much. Here's your parade. Go about your business. I can't make this up. I'm not making this up. Never mind the grim reality of what's going on in this place here called New York City. There's so many vacant businesses that have absconded and have not returned. And I'm not talking about simply residential area. I'm talking about business districts and everything. Retail for lease, stores for rent. All these signs, even banks have closed down certain locations that have not been rented, that have not been occupied since the pandemic started. Never mind those realities. Never mind the crime increase that has been taking place over here. You got to deal with all these issues. People living on the street right next to a high rise. But no, here's your parade. It's been identified that a huge amount of fraud has been taking place with the PPP, Paycheck Protection Program loans, right? To help businesses operate. Renters can't pay rent. Homeowners can't pay their mortgage because their tenants can't pay their rent. All of these different things that are taking place. But essential workers have to work. Doesn't matter. Whether you're vaccinated or not, you have to work. Fighting against an unknown enemy, an invisible enemy, a deadly enemy. Come home to loved ones, placing all of them at risk. Each day that you're required to work. Facing unknown variables, wearing masks, social distancing, getting tested, quarantining. Still have to work. Place yourself at risk. More than most people because of the jobs that we have. where those who are not deemed essential, many of them opted to just quit altogether, to quit their jobs altogether, to receive assistance, whether it's unemployment insurance assistance, whatever it was, where in some cases they were earning more money staying home than working. Meanwhile, essential staff did not have that luxury. Oh, but we've reached, according to what these leaders here have said, we've reached the numbers. I believe it was 70%. So now it is herd immunity. So that makes everything fine. Reopen. Come back. Reopen your business. Open your stores. Open the doors. Patronize the community and the customers. It is what you're being told, but in reality, is what the world sees, right? The world is being told one thing, and in reality, it's something else. On the ground, it's something else. There's something else going on. Much more profound and macabre than what's being presented to the world. Because those who know, and who know based on what I'm saying, there's a parade happening right now for essential staff. So outsiders can see perhaps, oh, wow, they're being celebrated. They're being taken care of. Look, they're recognizing, the staff that have worked throughout this pandemic crisis. They're being appreciated. They're being respected. That's what you may think on the outside looking in. In reality, that's everything but the truth. The truth is, like I said, it's all a lie. We're being disrespected. Because there are no updates. There's no interest. There's no fight that's being taken place to fight for the bonus pay or hazardous pay. That I believe we truly deserve. No amount of money can replace a life lost. But that's the least. That's the least that we can receive for putting our lives on the line. Each and every day we were performing our duties, we placed our lives on the line. %50 is better than it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not much. It's not, because like I said, you can't bring any loved ones back with nothing. There's no amount of monetary value that is equivalent to a life. But when those words were uttered out of the governor's mouth, do you not think he should be held to it? Does anyone not even care? But it's back to normal. Oh, go run in these parks. Go patronize these restaurants and nightclubs and entertainment centers or whatever you got going on to, occupy your time and distract you. Yeah, forget about everything else that really matters. Because I could tell you, if we were given what we were promised, it may not even be an entire 50%. Hell, what if it's 20%? It's better than nothing. But when it's dismissed altogether, that shows you, that shows me, and that should show us as essential and frontline workers that we were grossly underappreciated. We were and are completely underappreciated. This place is not what it once was. It's truly not what it once was. We faced a virus, a deadly virus that we had not seen in 100 years. Had to face extraordinary challenges and circumstances, which had to be met with extraordinary solutions. These weren't ordinary times. Someone could easily say 50%, that's out of, the norm. Well, yeah, it's out of the norm. The whole world was on lockdown. That's out of the norm. So again, you meet what's out of the norm with extraordinary measures. You meet extraordinary circumstances with extraordinary measures. So give us what we deserve. People forget. They suffer from amnesia, selective memory, selective hearing, selective listening, whatever you want to call it. But you weren't selective. Well, you were very selective in choosing who was obligated to perform their duties to keep everything running. And you selective now in not taking care of us properly. Because everyone understands money. You beg the government for $15 billion in aid, you receive double that. So it's not like the money's not there. But I'm just one lowly person out here. Who am I? Who am I?